Was that the bite of 87?
Hello everyone and welcome back to another review. Today we're looking at Kingdom Rattrap, and he is core class, I guess, is what it's called. It's basic class, scout class, the little one, the little guys. You can see, I keep on finding crap on my hands. It's really annoying. Alright, his box is pretty cool. You know, it's just a box. It's takes 18 steps. And this is a complete, unboxing. This is new to me. So we're going to open it. We're going to try and be very careful. This did come out, like, the other day. Not really the other day, but this year. It's pretty new. I think we can get some penetration from the back here. You know what? I'm just going to let the next couple minutes be like an ASMR video for you to enjoy. I'll put a timestamp that you can skip to if you want to, ignore all of that. Alright, peace out for a couple minutes. Alright, well, that was the thing. Here's Tahu real quick, because I am kind of surprised about this guy's size. He's really short. He's about the size of a G.I. Joe action figure, which is kind of surprising. And I'm not saying, oh, he's kind of to scale with those guys. No, he's like the size of a G.I. Joe action figure. I don't have any on me right now. They're all about, I believe, 300 miles away. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. Alright, so real quick, why don't we just take a look at the accessory. It's his gun. It's pretty good. It's fairly accurate to the one in the show. It definitely has some, original 80s vibes, G1. And why don't we take a look at the details a little bit? Because he's a pretty detailed figure. You can see his head is pretty well detailed. Pretty accurate, I would say. Everything is painted, like the eyes on the rat, which I appreciate. He even has a little maximal symbol on his forearm, which I think is pretty great. I do think all the paint is pretty good, like all the little rat feet. Overall, pretty high quality figure in the paint department. I think he looks pretty great. Especially like the way this kind of coppery color turned out. Oh yeah, and you can store his gun on his back. Just kind of snaps in. Pretty great. I always appreciate weapon storage, even if it looks stupid, which in this case I don't think it does. Alright, then why don't we transform him? Now this is the first time I've ever transformed him, so what we're going to want to do is rotate the booty down and rotate the tail up. Get everything straightened out. And this part seems kind of weird to me. We're going to want to rotate his head about 180 degrees. About there, because he has some fur on the back of his head. And then this whole head part is really stiff. I don't know why. It's kind of frustrating. But I recommend pushing against his head to flip it up. it's kind of stuck in there. This back piece is on a double hinge, and a really stiff one at that. The friction levels on this figure are kind of all over the place. Some things are really tight and some things are kind of loose. Like the double hinge on his back is super tight, and so is his neck. Alright, there, we gotta rotate all of this. This back panel is really getting in the way. So yeah, you want to rotate the rat head again about 180 degrees. And it's just, this panel's in the way. It's kind of frustrating. But just get everything kind of straightened up. Make sure this is back all the way. And you have plenty of clearance, because it does bump into quite a lot of things. Alright, this looks kind of gruesome right now. It looks like we have a squashed rat, but there we go. And then move the back panel back to where it was before. And hey, we got part of a rat. Alright, so now we're going to want to deal with kind of the arm area. And this is where things get kind of loose. You're going to want to rotate the whole arm down on this hinge to about there. And these hinges are really sketchy because they rotate to about like 90 degrees, but they need to go further than that. And you kind of have to push things in a really awkward direction. And the shoulders are just going to snap into this peg, which is not working out. I'm going to have to... This is annoying. You really kind of have to force it, and it makes me very uncomfortable. I'm going to carefully do this off camera real quick. Alright, we got it. Yeah, it was kind of frustrating. We're just going to kind of get the arms out of the way for now. We'll come back to the arms a little bit later. I don't know why the instructions tell you to bend them in this kind of weird way. The instructions, I hate Transformer instructions. They're so confusing to me, at least. Alright, next up we're going to kind of transform the hind legs, which I feel like are one of the, you know, better parts of the figure, perhaps. So we're just going to kind of rotate everything by 90 degrees and kind of split the knee, which is kind of weird. I think it's pretty cool. And just get everything straightened up. Alright, and we're in the end game now. Make sure you rotate the rat feet so everything's all lined up. Alright, these are pretty stiff. Another joint that's kind of strangely stiff. Alright, we're going to get the legs lined up there, and then this is where things get tricky. We're going to need to rotate the whole arm assembly down on both sides. And the arms, you're going to need to straighten them up, so I don't know why they tell you to bend them. So straighten everything up and make sure that the thighs are attached to the weird arm flap thingies. You know what I'm saying. Alright, and then we can move the booty panel down and make sure the arms are all straight, and the arms are going to peg in to the top of the booty panel. That sounds kind of weird. And the legs are just going to kind of get in there. And there you go. We have a rat mode, and I think it's pretty pogers. From far away, it looks like a rat. It's pretty great. These instructions are annoying. I just want to get that out of the way. There are even a couple places to put his gun on the rat, which is pretty nice. It just kind of pegs into his leg. It's weird. Anyway, I think it looks pretty cool. Honestly, I think it looks about as good as the original. It looks maybe a little bit more realistic and more show accurate in both shows. You can see he's very, very tiny. More of a mouse, really. Honestly, it reminds me more of a mouse trap than a rat trap. But, whatever. I do think his thighs kind of stick out quite a bit on the sides. His robot mode thighs. His fists don't bother me that much, that he has a fist near his butt. It's okay. For most angles, I think he looks pretty good. He does have a couple holes, but from like straight on and kind of from the side, I think he actually looks pretty good, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. Alright, I'm going to actually get him out of rat mode real quick just to kind of talk about articulation and stuff just a little bit, very briefly. Okay, well, he has a bunch of knees. Long story short, he has a bunch of knees. Anyway, I like this figure. It's very accurate. Very, very accurate. It almost feels like a masterpiece figure, besides some of the holes on the side panels. The shoulders are kind of wonky, I'm not going to lie. They don't articulate to the left and right very well, and he always has to do kind of these weird, stick 'em up poses, which I find to be pretty, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it. He does hold the gun not super well, honestly. The peg doesn't fit. You kind of have to shove it in there, but you can get it. And, I like this figure. He looks good. I feel like the engineering is really good. Some of the tolerances and stuff and friction just feels kind of weird, honestly, and inconsistent, which I'm a little disappointed about. But again, I feel like visually he's a pretty great figure. He's very, very tiny. In some ways, I feel like, I don't know, I'm conflicted about the price. Honestly, considering the engineering, I feel like it's pretty good. But size-wise, he just feels so tiny. So I feel like it's really up to you on this one. I would mostly recommend it. But I don't think it's one of those things that's like a must-buy. It definitely fits in with Beast Wars very well, and I think it could honestly fit in with the original collection if you don't have the original Rattrap. I guess that's where I'm going. He kind of feels like an original Beast Wars toy. He doesn't feel super balanced, like figuratively balanced, that is. Like, he feels kind of pricey, and his size is just so small, but he has pretty good articulation and pretty good paint and really great engineering. So again, I'm kind of in between on this figure. I think it's mostly up to you. If you're a Beast Wars fan, hell yeah, get it. Alright, peace out.